do to make sure this never happens again? And the laws in New York State are quite strong. New York has the 5th lowest rate of gun violence. We've had a historic low in New York City, but there's not much that New York laws or legislators can do for someone who buys a gun in Nevada and drives it into the state. That really requires a federal solution, and while there'll be a lot that needs to be discussed on this issue, whether that's the mental health services, whether that's background checks, a big part of the conversation will be, should these military-style weapons be available, or is it time for the nation finally to ban them?
And you just mentioned that the 4th victim in this was an employee of the NFL. Investigators had believed the shooter was headed to the NFL offices, I believe on the 5th floor, but got in the wrong elevator, ended up going to the 33rd floor where the company that manages the building is located. I don't know if you have any insight as to whether the shooter even knew that they were targeting someone who worked for the NFL. What more have you learned about that and the motivation here?
Well, the NYPD is still doing its investigation. As you mentioned at the top of the hour, they're sending 2 teams out to Nevada to speak with people there, and I expect we'll learn more as the investigation continues. But what we know now is that this person drove from Nevada with an intent, with a loaded weapon, with a weapon that could fire very quickly and very powerfully, and used it to inflict mass casualties on New Yorkers. And that demands a national response.
And what do you think that response should be?
I think it's, as our governor said this morning, it is finally time for us to have a nationwide ban on assault weapons, on these AR-15 style weapons. Now, this one was a pistol and a different one, and I expect many of my colleagues in elected office to pick at specific distinctions in weapons, but what's clear is no one should have a magazine that can shoot 30 rounds. No one should have such a high-powered and maneuverable weapon and be able to walk around city streets or drive it into our state.
You said it was a pistol?
Technically, it's defined as a pistol, though obviously it had a shoulder stock, and so to the eye, many would call it an assault rifle. I think it is technically classified as a pistol and lack the rifling. But my point is that we shouldn't be in these discussions on the ticky-tacky aspects of the specific guns. We need to be taking action to keep people safe. Exactly where we draw the line on exactly what kind of weapon we can discuss. But New York has already banned this style of weapon in our state. There's nothing we can do if other states are going to keep